All right, gentlemen, Dr. Vella here. I'm going to help you with some material for our final grammar quiz that we're taking in June. I am here on page 145 in your EOL, and this is the part of the quiz where you will have to identify independent versus subordinate clauses, and you'll be underlining independent once, subordinate twice, and then telling me what kind of sentence it is. Okay? All right. I'm not worried about the purpose here. I'm not worried about the purpose. I'm only worried about the structure. Okay. So, number one, are you aware that there is a huge worldwide demand for butterflies? So, are you aware is the independent clause, right? That's a sentence. Are you aware? That's a sentence. I can say that, and it expresses a thought. That there is a huge worldwide demand for butterflies. It starts with the relative pronoun, and so I need to underline it twice. So we have one independent, one subordinate. That makes this complex. Okay? Number two, millions are caught and sold each year to entomologists, museums, private collectors, and factories. Okay? There's only one subject here, millions, and then the verb is are caught and sold. But remember, just having one subject or having two verbs is not enough. You would also have to have two subjects to make this two separate sentences. So this one is simple. Okay, we only have one independent clause. All right, number three, the plastic encased butterflies that are used to decorate ornamental objects such as trays, tabletops, and screens are usually common varieties, many of which come from Taiwan, Korea, and Malaysia. All right, the plastic encased butterflies, that's the subject, that are used, notice another one starts with that are used to decorate ornamental objects such as trays, tabletops, and screens is our subordinate clause. So I need to underline that twice. And now we return to the independent. The plastic encased butterflies are usually common varieties, many of which come from Taiwan, Korea, and Malaysia. All right? Which come from Taiwan, Korea, and Malaysia is also subordinate. Which is the one that starts it there. Remember, guys, that was one of the big things we talked about last time, is a subordinate clause starts with either a relative pronoun or a subordinating conjunction. If you need to, go back in the book and memorize those lists of relative pronouns and subordinating conjunctions. So this is one independent clause plus two subordinates. That makes it complex. All right. There is a difference, though, between between collection practices in those countries and those used in Papua New Guinea. Okay, this is a tough one because you have to think about what the main clause is here. There's a difference between collection practices in those countries and those used in Papua New Guinea. Many people might think that this is a subject or a subject verb, but it's actually a participle. So the whole thing here, guys, is just one simple clause. Okay, number five. Papua New Guinea, which was administered by Australia until 1975, has taken advantage of a growing interest in tropical butterflies. Okay? Papua New Guinea has taken advantage of a growing interest in tropical butterflies. Okay? That's the independent clause. I know, Joseph. It's pretty amazing. Which was administered by Australia until 1975 is the subordinate. So that makes this complex. Notice, so far, in the three complex sentences, we had a that, and then we had a which, and then another which. Okay? Those are all the relative pronouns, the that and which. We'll see if we have some subordinating conjunctions too. Butterfly ranchers gather, raise, and market high-quality specimens which are accompanied by scientific data. Okay? Butterfly ranchers gather, raise, and market high-quality specimens. That's independent. Notice there's only one subject, ranchers. So there can't be, even though there's multiple verbs, it's not multiple clauses. Then which are accompanied by scientific data. That's the subordinate. So again, we have complex. Okay. Since biologists have not yet determined, we see that word since. You should be absolutely thinking subordinate clause here. Since biologists have not yet determined the life cycles of all those butterflies, that should all be underlined twice. Local villagers, that's underlined once, have become the experts. All right? Because of their experience, is that a subordinate clause? No, it's not. It doesn't have a verb in it. So that means we're still going to underline it just once. Okay? As a result, butterfly ranching has improved the country's economy. Notice, you don't have to do this when you draw them, but I would put a line in here just to indicate that these are two separate independent clauses. One of them has the subject as local villagers. The other one, the subject is butterfly ranching, right? So we have two independent clauses, one subordinate. So that makes this CDCX. Okay? All right. Some butterfly specimens are quite small, but others are larger than an adult human hand. All right? Some are quite small, but others are larger than an adult human hand. I'm putting a line between those just to indicate that those are two separate independent clauses. They each have their own subject and verb, and they each express a complete thought. No subordinate clause there, so that means we're left with something that is just compound. Okay? Number 9, look at the photograph, and you will see a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. Notice, just like in number 8 and 9 both have a coordinating conjunction, one of the fanboys separating the independent clauses. You will see a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. Okay? Look at the photograph as a sentence because it has the understood subject you. You look at the photograph. And the second sentence is you will see a butterfly emerging. All right? So this is two independent clauses, no subordinate. So that is CD. Okay? Number 10, what rich, vibrant colors butterflies have. Don't let this one confuse you. There's one subject, butterflies, one verb, have, and that's it. Simple. Okay? That's it, gentlemen. That was page 145, numbers 1 through 10, reviewing the 4 types of sentence structures.